ever wondered what really goes on behind the bright lights and glittering stages of hip-hop's biggest names? One phone call from Drake changed everything for Kash Doll, a Detroit-bred rapper who went from dancing in clubs to performing on one of the most prestigious stages in rap, all within a whirlwind of rumors, relationship drama, and jaw-dropping rivalries. Fans only saw the glamorous invite, but the real story goes much deeper than a simple guest spot. It's a story that pulls back the curtain on how quickly a promising alliance can turn into swirling controversy, and how the biggest stars in the game, like Drake and Kendrick Lamar, sometimes drop cryptic hints that leave fans buzzing for months. From a jealous ex-boyfriend who couldn't handle a photograph to rap queens fighting over monikers, you're about to discover how every headline can be just the tip of the iceberg. But the twists and turns don't stop there. Kash Doll's own life took complicated detours, including a mysterious missing box of jewelry worth a fortune, public disputes over stage names, and a balancing act between being an alpha in the industry and remaining submissive in relationships. The revelations are endless, the rumors intense, and the motivations more complex than most outsiders could ever guess. Hold on tight as we dive headlong into this labyrinth of alliances, betrayals, and stunning come-ups. By the end, you might just see a whole new side of Drake, Kash Doll, and the challenges female rappers face every day. This isn't just another story about rap beef and backstage gossip. It's a raw look at how personal ambition, loyalty, and the quest for respect collide in today's music scene. Kash Doll's journey took a dramatic turn in 2016 when she picked up her phone and heard one of the most shocking offers of her career. Drake wanted her to open for him in Detroit. At the time, Kash Doll was already a local celebrity in Motor City. She'd built a name in the Detroit club scene, transitioning from dancing to rapping around 2014. Her newfound passion for music had proven fruitful. Her songs were buzzing in local circles, and she was ready to break out. Still, nobody could have predicted that Drake, a global superstar, would hand her a golden ticket to perform on his stage. For an aspiring rapper, this kind of opportunity feels like a dream. It's Drake, the man with countless chart-topping hits, the one who co-signed The Weeknd, Migos, and so many others, propelling them into the international spotlight. With a nod from Drake, your entire future can shift. Kash Doll knew she was on the brink of something major, something that could either make her a household name or toss her into the ever-changing rap rumor mill. But the minute her name became tied to Drake's, speculation ran wild. Some fans congratulated her on the big break, while others shot skeptical glances, claiming Drake only connected with new artists to siphon their buzz or overshadow them once they showed real promise. This chatter wasn't new. Plenty of up-and-comers had seen their names skyrocket after a Drake co-sign, only to see themselves overshadowed or left behind later. For Kash Doll, none of that mattered in the immediate moment. She was excited and focused on making a statement at the show. Opening for Drake in her own city felt like a stamp of approval not just for her, but for Detroit's booming rap culture, an underdog city often overshadowed by places like Atlanta, Los Angeles, and New York. However, as history has shown, no major cosign in the music world comes without baggage. Within weeks of the announcement, whispers spread that Kash Doll and Drake might have been closer than just two artists sharing a stage. Did he sense a star in the making? Or was there more to the story? Publicly, Drake had always championed new talent, but privately, industry insiders often debated his true motivations. Rumors can slice through a blossoming friendship before it has time to take root. Toward the end of 2016, Kash Doll found herself juggling her performance preparations with dodging suspicious questions. Local DJs, radio hosts, and fans asked if Drake was truly letting her shine or merely using her moment to craft a narrative. Amid the swirl of attention, Kash Doll remained upbeat. After all, who would waste time on negativity when you're about to make a debut that could change your entire career? As she stepped onto Drake's stage, she did exactly what her fans expected, delivered the raw energy that Detroit is known for. The night was a success. Her phone lit up with requests for interviews, collaborations, and more. But this rapid rise brought unanticipated personal strains. She had no idea that a simple show of support and a casual photo would soon explode into bigger drama with the person she least expected, her boyfriend. That performance was merely the opening act in Kash Doll's ever-evolving storyline. What happened next took place off stage and revealed just how easily a brush with fame can tear apart a relationship. Before we dive into the personal chaos Kash Doll encountered, let's pause to explore the heart of the matter, Drake himself. To many fans, Drake is the certified lover boy, the rapper who pours his heart out over melodic hooks and smooth instrumentals. Others see him as a strategic genius, aligning with fresh talent right when they're about to blow up. Both perceptions hold some truth, but there's a lot more to Drake than meets the eye. In the public sphere, Drake has been labeled soft, especially when compared to gritty street rappers. Critics point to his emotional lyrics, heartbreak anthems, and frequent confessions of vulnerability. Yet those who've worked with him tell a different story. Countless emerging artists describe him as supportive, generous, and fiercely loyal. At least, loyal as long as both parties remain on the same page. Kash Doll echoed these sentiments, noting how Drake's demeanor was warm from the get-go. Despite the rumors, he didn't strike her as someone just chasing a moment or hogging the spotlight. He offered constructive advice, provided opportunities, and genuinely seemed interested in her success. But the rap industry operates on a delicate balance of hype, competition, and reputation. One minute, an artist can be praising Drake's mentorship. The next, they might turn around and accuse him of using them for clout. Why does Drake attract so much drama? Part of it stems from his massive influence. When you're one of the most streamed artists on the planet, everything you do is amplified. Any small slight from Drake, real or perceived, can be spun into a public feud. If he doesn't invite you on tour again, or if he co-signs someone else's project, it might spark rumors of betrayal. Moreover, Drake rarely clears the air in detail. He'll drop vague lines in his songs, sometimes offering just enough to hint at underlying tensions without naming names. That silence fuels speculation. Could he be quietly orchestrating the conversation? Maybe. Or perhaps he'd rather let people assume what they want while he focuses on his next hit. Still, stories keep piling up. Artists recount tales of receiving life-changing Drake support only to lose contact once their moment of hype passed. Fans wonder if Drake's approach is purely business, or if he truly invests in people's futures. Kash Doll, for her part, insisted that Drake was nothing but kind. She witnessed him providing opportunities for people who later turned around and bashed him publicly. Though she never delved into specifics, it seemed clear she found that behavior disloyal and confusing. But as Kash Doll praised Drake's kind nature, her own personal life was on the verge of a breakdown, all over one photograph that should have been harmless. Amid the thrill of performing alongside Drake, Kash Doll hardly expected that a simple snapshot would push her relationship to the edge. It was an ordinary moment. Drake threw an arm over her shoulder for a friendly picture. If you scroll through social media, you'll see countless fans, reporters, and artists with similar photos. Yet for her then-boyfriend, it was unacceptable. Jealousy in the entertainment world can be fierce. Imagine watching your partner rub elbows with one of the planet's most desirable men. Fear, insecurity, and resentment can flare up overnight. For Kash Doll, this was new territory. She'd worked hard to separate her professional life from her private relationships. But no matter how she explained it, it's just a photo, we're colleagues, it's normal. Her boyfriend saw something else. The argument that followed was intense. He interpreted Drake's arm around Kash Doll as a sign of closeness that crossed a line. She tried to reassure him. Photos with celebrities are standard fare when you're forging a music career. You have to network, show up at events, and sometimes appear extra friendly just to keep the vibe positive. Yet logic seldom stands a chance against raw emotion. Eventually, she reached a crossroads. Stay in a relationship overshadowed by mistrust or focus on her rapidly expanding career. For a woman who'd hustled her way up from local clubs to major stages, the choice was clear. The entire spat symbolized a larger problem. Her boyfriend simply couldn't handle the demands of her career. After an explosion of heated words, Kash Doll walked away. She's mentioned in interviews that it was her call to end things, especially after realizing the drama would only intensify as her fame grew. If a single photo with Drake sparked this much rage, how would her boyfriend handle red carpets, collaborations, and future interactions with top-tier artists? In entertainment, it's not unusual for relationships to crumble under public scrutiny. Yet, the sheer speed at which this unfolded revealed just how fragile a bond can be when one partner feels overshadowed by the other's success. To the outside world, it seemed almost trivial, a standard entertainment photo. But to Kash Doll, it was a wake-up call about what she would and wouldn't tolerate in her personal life. even as she dealt with heartbreak at home, she found herself unexpectedly entangled in a feud far bigger than personal jealousy. A cryptic name drop by one of rap's most respected lyricists, Kendrick Lamar. Not long after the ex-boyfriend drama settled, Kash Doll's name suddenly surfaced in a Kendrick Lamar track. One moment, she was minding her own business. The next, her phone was lighting up with questions like, "Did you hear what K. Dot said?" The internet exploded with theories. Fans dissected every word, wondering if Kendrick was praising her, calling her out, or referencing an inside joke. At the heart of this mystery was a single lyric. Kendrick Lamar, known for his razor-sharp messages and layered metaphors, seldom name-drops casually. His references often come loaded with meaning, sometimes political, sometimes personal, and sometimes aimed at other artists in the game. For Kash Doll, it was surreal. She had never publicly beefed with Kendrick. Yet here she was, caught in a flurry of speculation linking her to one of rap's biggest names. The rumor mill quickly tied this reference to a possible Drake versus Kendrick tension. Rap fans love to connect dots. Drake and Kendrick had an on-again, off-again rivalry, primarily fueled by subtle disses in lyrics and public debates about who truly reigned supreme in hip-hop. Could mentioning Kash Doll have been Kendrick's way of taking a jab at Drake? Was he alluding to her newly elevated profile, courtesy of Drizzy's cosign? Meanwhile, Kash Doll was just as puzzled as everyone else. She openly admitted she didn't know the deeper meaning behind Kendrick's line. Some guessed he could have been referencing her track Ice Me Out, or perhaps the moment she lost a lavish jewelry collection in California. Others thought the line might just be a nod to her presence in the rap scene, a way for Kendrick to highlight the new wave of female artistry. Whatever the reason, the effect was immediate. Curiosity soared, fueling endless discussions on social media. Fans posted theories, asked Kash Doll for clarity, and tried to parse every lyric for hidden subtext. Although she never got a direct explanation from Kendrick, the incident revealed how a single bar in a rap song can amplify an artist's profile overnight, for better or for worse. While the Kendrick reference sent Twitter into detective mode, Kash Doll faced another controversy closer to home. This time, it wasn't just about cryptic lyrics. It was a full-blown conflict over her stage name, and it would spark debates about branding, originality, and the cutthroat nature of female rap. It might sound like a small issue to outsiders, but in the fiercely competitive world of hip-hop, a stage name is everything. Kash Doll wasn't the first female rapper to embrace the Doll moniker, but she quickly became one of the most visible. Then, almost overnight, multiple new artists hit the scene with similar names: Asian Doll, Dream Doll, Cuban Doll, and more. Suddenly, social media was flooded with side-by-side comparisons. Who's the best doll? Or which doll has the hottest bars? Or who's the real doll queen? For Kash Doll, who had poured years into building her personal brand and forging a distinct identity, watching her chosen name morph into a trend felt like a direct challenge to her uniqueness. In interviews, Kash Doll admitted she found it frustrating. She'd spent ages carving out her place in a tough industry, only to be lumped in with a wave of similarly named rappers. People would tag her in debates about which doll was better, overshadowing her actual music. At one point, she publicly suggested that the newcomers should consider changing their names, igniting an online firestorm. The other dolls saw it as an insult. Why should they drop their stage names just because someone else got to the spotlight first? Fans took sides, fueling Twitter feuds that sometimes escalated to diss tracks. Some argued that more female rappers in the game was a good thing, so who cares if they share a similar title? Others believed that brand identity was at stake and that Kash Doll had a right to defend her name. This wasn't just petty bickering, it underscored a deeper truth about female rap. For decades, women struggled to gain mainstream attention in a genre often dominated by male voices. When female rappers finally started gaining traction in large numbers, the competition was fierce. Every new stage name or persona risked overshadowing someone else's hustle, making it even harder to stand out. Kash Doll turned the controversy into a teachable moment. She dropped subtle lines in her own music and used interviews to clarify why uniqueness matters. She wasn't attacking anyone's hustle, she insisted, just trying to protect her own. But critics and fans continued to spin the story, labeling her territorial and stirring up the narrative that female rappers can't support each other. Regardless of the arguments, the doll conflict put a giant spotlight on Kash Doll's brand. While it brought drama, it also brought attention. Some fans discovered her music precisely because they were curious about the fuss. In a world where publicity can be a double-edged sword, the controversy both challenged and elevated her at the same time. Amid the heated debates over stage names, a more personal and expensive issue loomed large. When Kash Doll's jewelry vanished in California, the rumor mill kicked into overdrive, sparking stories that made the doll controversy look tame. Even beyond the doll debate, female rap has long been rife with both collaboration and conflict. Think back to historic feuds: Lil' Kim versus Foxy Brown, Nicki Minaj versus Remy Ma, and so on. These rivalries often dominate headlines because they pit powerful women against each other in a male-dominated industry. Fair or not, it's a pattern that the public and the media seem drawn to, sometimes overshadowing the music itself. For Kash Doll, her stance on these tensions is pragmatic. She'll collaborate and uplift fellow female MCs, but she won't tolerate being disrespected. She's talked about how unity could push female rap further, yet it's difficult to fully unite when personal brands and limited industry spots are on the line. Major labels still sign fewer women than men in hip-hop, so when a handful of female rappers break through, the scramble for the top can be fierce. Fans play a significant role here too. Social media thrives on pitting artists against each other, amplifying even minor disagreements. If Kash Doll simply requested name changes, fans might twist that request into a full-blown insult war. In many ways, it mirrors how male rappers are goaded into rap battles. But because there are fewer women at the top, each rivalry gets magnified. The environment can become draining. Female rappers battle not just for commercial success, but for the right to exist without constant comparisons. They're frequently asked about one another in interviews. What do you think of so-and-so's new track? Fueling the perception that there's only room for one or two women at the summit. But as more and more ladies enter the game, the dynamic is slowly shifting. Today, there's an increasing push for collaborations, joint tours, and supportive shoutouts on social media. Kash Doll has carved her own path. She understands that drama sometimes comes with the territory, especially when you're fiercely protective of your brand and your identity. Still, she's gone on record saying she'd love to see more unity, just not at the expense of her own self-respect. While the rap world zeroed in on battles over names and unity, Kash Doll found herself in the crosshairs of a far more personal crisis. One moment, she was dripping in lavish jewelry. The next, $500,000 worth of valuables vanished in the blink of an eye. Few incidents in Kash Doll's career caused as much uproar as the day her jewelry went missing in California. Rumor had it she'd either misplaced or been robbed of a massive collection worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some observers believed it was stolen at a party. Others claimed she might have been the target of a premeditated setup. Regardless of the exact details, the event made headlines, partly because it played right into the rap culture fascination with ice. Kash Doll's track, "Ice Me Out," amplified the intrigue. The title alone became fodder for jokes and jabs. Here she was, singing about being decked in diamonds, only to lose them all in one fell swoop. Critics had a field day, questioning how a rising artist could afford such an expensive collection in the first place. Fans were split between sympathy and curiosity, wondering if it was an inside job or a careless mistake. Beyond the gossip, the loss was devastating to Kash Doll personally. Jewelry isn't just about showing off wealth. For many artists, certain pieces hold sentimental value or mark milestones in their careers. They're symbols of hard work, accomplishments, and personal style. When the entire collection vanished, it felt like a punch to the gut, a tangible representation of her success gone in an instant. Online theories bubbled up, especially when word got out that Kendrick Lamar's cryptic reference might have been connected to her lost jewels. Was he hinting at that fiasco? Was it a reference to her "Ice Me Out" theme? Nobody knew for sure, but that didn't stop fans from drawing lines between the two incidents. In interviews, Kash Doll mostly brushed off the speculation. She admitted the incident taught her about caution, particularly in places where envy lurks. Flashy chains and rings might look glamorous, but they also attract the wrong kind of attention. As her fame grew, so did the circle of people with questionable motives. Friends of friends, party acquaintances, and random onlookers who might see an opportunity. If there was a silver lining, it was the reminder that success comes with a price. In hip-hop, flaunting wealth can boost your image, but it can also make you a target. Kash Doll learned firsthand that securing your future is just as important as achieving it. In the aftermath, she tightened her team, upgraded her security measures, and refused to let the theft define her. Even as the dust settled on missing jewels and rap feuds, Kash Doll introduced the world to a fresh concept that seemed to sum up the many sides of her personality. She called herself an alpha submissive, a contradictory-sounding label that offered a glimpse into how she balances dominance and vulnerability in her life. The phrase alpha submissive might raise eyebrows, but Kash Doll's explanation intrigued fans. An alpha is someone who leads, commands respect, and takes charge. Submissive typically suggests yielding or being passive. So how do they coexist in one person, especially someone forging a path in such a competitive industry? Kash Doll's idea is that women, especially those in the limelight, can embody both traits in different situations. In the public eye, on stage, in business meetings, or during negotiations, a woman can be alpha, in control, fearless, and uncompromising. Yet in private spaces, she might choose to be more yielding, supportive, or nurturing, especially in romantic relationships or close friendships. It's all about context and choice, rather than being boxed into a single role. For Kash Doll, embracing alpha submissive clarified many of her experiences. When dealing with the doll controversy or protecting her brand, she's alpha. She sets boundaries, pushes back against imitation, and ensures her voice isn't drowned out by the crowd. But when it comes to matters of the heart, like the ex-boyfriend who panicked over a photo with Drake, she can, at times, empathize with insecurities, show patience, and try to ease concerns, at least until a line is crossed. This concept struck a chord with many female fans who juggle careers, families, relationships, and public perceptions. Women are often expected to be either boss babes or supportive girlfriends. But Kash Doll argues you can be both, just in different areas of life. Embracing that duality might be the key to sanity in an unpredictable industry. It also helps explain how she navigated major conflicts without losing herself. With Drake, she was gracious and excited, but never let the rumors overshadow her own aspirations. When the doll controversy flared up, she defended her identity yet still acknowledged there's room in rap for more women, just not at the expense of her brand. And during the jewelry fiasco, she publicly admitted vulnerability while privately taking stronger security measures. Alpha submissive might be a new phrase to many, but for Kash Doll, it's been her unspoken strategy all along. Balancing these two energies allows her to stay true to her Detroit roots, unapologetically tough, while also giving her the freedom to explore connections, romance, and trust in a world where betrayal can lurk around any corner. So, after all these ups and downs, where does that leave Kash Doll? And what does it say about Drake or even Kendrick Lamar? To find out, we need to recap the highlights and see how they connect in a web of relationships, headlines, and ambitions that stretch far beyond one city or one artist. Kash Doll's story is a microcosm of the modern rap scene, a tale of hustle, opportunity, rivalry, and personal risk. One phone call from Drake propelled her from local hero to a name recognized nationwide. What seemed like a straightforward invitation soon spiraled into controversies, some comedic, some intensely personal. She endured an ex-boyfriend's tantrum, navigated cryptic shoutouts from Kendrick Lamar, and stood her ground against a flood of similarly named artists. Throughout these trials, Kash Doll's perspective on Drake remained surprisingly neutral. She saw a genuine side to him that contradicts the manipulative puppet master rumors. In her eyes, Drake is kind and supportive until you cross him or turn your back on his generosity. But the rap game can be cutthroat, and loyalty is often short-lived. As a result, even well-intentioned alliances can devolve into misunderstandings, especially when millions of fans and social media accounts are fueling speculation. Kash Doll's personal life was tested too. A single photograph sparked a fight that exposed deeper insecurities in her relationship. Fame magnifies every insecurity, and for her, it meant choosing between a future filled with possibilities and a relationship rooted in suspicion. While it hurt, the breakup also proved she wouldn't sacrifice her career or her authenticity just to keep someone else comfortable. Then came Kendrick Lamar's unexpected name drop, a reminder of how one line from a top-tier lyricist can rattle an artist's world. Pair that with the Doll Moniker controversy, an issue that reflects the broader challenges female rappers face when they have to guard every inch of their identity. As if that weren't enough, the mysterious disappearance of her jewelry served as a wake-up call about fame's hidden costs. Yet through it all, Kash Doll emerged with a firm sense of self, crystallized by her notion of being alpha submissive. She can lead in her career yet choose vulnerability in her personal life, proving that these attributes aren't mutually exclusive. In many ways, this dual approach has fortified her, allowing her to adapt to the swirling chaos of the industry without losing her center. So, what does the future hold for Kash Doll and the rap world at large? Will she reignite old feuds or find unexpected collaborations? Will Drake reach out with another invite, or will tensions around his cosigns continue to simmer under the surface? Will the doll name wars fade as new artists claim fresh identities, or will the competition intensify as more women rise to prominence? In a genre that thrives on drama and evolution, nobody can say for certain. The only guarantee is that rap, like any fast-moving cultural force, remains full of surprises. Names that dominate headlines today could become allies tomorrow, and an artist who's underestimated might drop the next track that flips the entire scene on its head. For now, Kash Doll's story stands as a lesson in resilience. She stepped onto Drake's stage, took the heat for it, and still kept her voice. She withstood heartbreak, public scrutiny, and brand confusion, all while forging her own lane in hip-hop. Whether you admire her tenacity, question her choices, or simply love her music, there's no denying she's carved out a distinctive chapter in rap history. And maybe that's the biggest revelation of all. Beneath every viral moment and tabloid rumor, these are real people with real emotions, hustling to make their mark. Fame can amplify every triumph and misstep, but it can also bring opportunities that most can only dream about. Kash Doll seized those opportunities, even when they came wrapped in jealousy and controversy, and used them to build a platform that's uniquely hers. Perhaps you'll never listen to Ice Me Out the same way again, knowing what went down in California. Maybe the next time you see Drake standing beside a fresh talent, you'll wonder if history is about to repeat itself. And whenever a new doll emerges, claiming they deserve the crown, you'll remember the original Detroit queen who fought tooth and nail to defend her brand. In the end, it's all part of the relentless pace of hip-hop, a world fueled by ambition, rivalry, creativity, and heart. Kash Doll's saga, from that first invite in 2016 to the controversies swirling around her name, reminds us that even the simplest acts can have ripple effects that last for years. You never know which casual photo or throwaway lyric will spark the next major storyline. So, keep watching, keep listening, and keep forming your own theories. The rap game's tapestry is woven with secrets, alliances, and revelations just waiting to be uncovered. As for Kash Doll, don't expect her to stay quiet. She's proven that whether she's opening for a superstar, defending her moniker, or setting the record straight on her private life, she'll do it on her terms, alpha, submissive, or both. And if there's one lesson you walk away with, it's that in a world where images flash before our eyes and rumors catch fire in seconds, authenticity might be the toughest currency of all. Kash Doll, in her own complicated, determined way, keeps showing us that there's power in defending who you are, even when the glare of the spotlight tries to mold you into someone else. Thanks for watching Tea Talk News. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.